everybody. Welcome in for another episode of Vol Club Confidential, episode 4 of season 2. Tonight we'll have McAllen Castles on the show, the Tennessee tight end who transferred from UC Davis this offseason, is loving his time on Rocky Top, and we'll dive into all of that ahead. But let's bring in James Clausen. James, new this year is, we talked about this last week, a new tailgate spot as part of the Vol Network, something you all are a proud sponsor with this year.
Yeah, so
partner.
A couple months ago, we're now a proud partner of the Vol Network. So it's a great step for us, just in terms of some brand recognition, and then being inside the stadium on some signage, and then our new tailgate location, which will be right outside of McClung Tower, on the side of the library. So much bigger footprint, allows us to expand there. It should be awesome.
When you look at, you talk about being able to have that signage inside the Neyland Stadium, being able to be on the Jumbotron, being able to do all those things. How big is that?
I think it's just like, how do we get the Volunteer Club to be a name that people recognize? And do they immediately associate it with NIL and the fact that the things that we're doing with players? So I think it's as much as anything, with what we're doing with WAT, the Vol Network, some other things that we're doing, it's just getting that name for people to be able to recognize when they say Vol Club, hey, that's NIL at Tennessee.
Of course, coming up this weekend is the Florida game, which also means that you got the big deal over here at Neyland Stadium on the party deck, for Vol Club members to be able to watch the Tennessee-Florida game at Neyland Stadium on the Jumbotron, which is such a unique event if you're not able to make it to the Swamp.
Yep, so it should be an awesome time under the lights. We've got Gus's Fried Chicken doing the food, and so it should be a really cool experience. Hopefully maybe not the last time we do something like this. And so got to give our hats off to Tennessee for letting us do this and take that chance.
Yeah, Tennessee doing, bending over backwards, making things accessible, and the Exterior Home Solutions night at Neyland, which is, again, catered by Gus's Fried Chicken. Big deal.
Huge deal. Yep. Tennessee's been great. I think they understand the importance of NIL, and, we're as best we can, having to be, third party removed from the university, we work together in lockstep on a lot of things.
All right, now let's bring in the guest for tonight, that being tight end McAllen Castles.
Good, you?
McAllen, you've been on campus for, about half the year now. Let's take it back to when you were, trying to decide on where to come to, when you decided to leave UC Davis. Why Tennessee?
Well, I had a couple other offers from the SEC, but I wanted to go somewhere where I was going to win in the high-powered offense, because I kind of gotten stuck in a blocking role at Davis, and I wanted to show off that I had some of that athleticism in the pass game. So it's like, if you want to go somewhere where you're going to catch the ball and also get a show that you can block, Tennessee is a no-brainer, because it's such an explosive offense, and the way they used Princeton last year is kind of like a good inspiration to why I wanted to come here.
You had a lot of people behind the scenes, though, saying, if you had went out last year, you would have gotten drafted anyway. So why not go that route versus staying in college? Why want to go one more year and do it, in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of came down to, I got injured in our last game and didn't really want to half do all the training and stuff for the draft, and so my dad was like, maybe you should stay another year and go to a bigger school and just show people that you can play against the higher level. And it's kind of I want to go somewhere I'm going to win and play the best level, but it's also a money decision where it's if I play good at the top level, then you're only improving how people view you and at the next level.
Since you've gotten here, everybody talks about your ability to catch the ball and to spread out, but getting down there and putting your hand in the dirt and kind of being that guy that can help the offensive line a little bit. Do you feel like that's come natural to you, or do you feel like that's something that Coach Abe, being an old offensive lineman himself, has been able to help you with?
I think they had me do it at Davis without the coaching, so I had the want to do it. I've
Sure.
always been willing to get in there and block, but I didn't really have a whole lot of technique. And so since I've had Abe's, I feel like my footwork and my hands have gotten so much easier. So it's kind of now that I have the technique, it's gotten drastically easier to make those blocks. And plus I've put on 20 pounds since I got here and gotten a whole lot stronger. So it's just all combinations of that has made it a easier task for me to do.
So when your family sees you and you put on 20 pounds, did they notice the 20 pounds? Did they go, You look different.
Oh yeah, my older brother, he saw me and he was like, I gotta start working out again because he's been out of football for a little bit. So he's like, oh man, I'm getting tiny. And then my dad loves it. My mom goes, oh my goodness, you're gonna have to get a whole new closet, which I basically have had to do. Like I've given all my brother my old stuff now.
What has specifically the strength staff done to put that 20 pounds on you? Like, is there something that specifically they've been working on to get you to do that? And is that also adding in going a lot to the nutrition table? And they got those peanut butter milkshakes and all that stuff in there.
The high calorie shakes are definitely a big help after every workout, and the nutrition. The Smokies Dining Hall is some of the best food I've had ever. So it's super easy to eat and put on weight. But then like with Coach Schmidt and all them, they do all that extra stuff after the lift where it's like they put me in body mass to get just bigger up top and wider. And I think that's why I put on the weight so good without like kind of like losing any athleticism.
In the spring, obviously you're adapting to your new team, you're adapting to your new teammates. As we've gotten into the season, you had a really nice catch in Nashville, the first game of the year. How comfortable are you right now?
Oh, I'm super comfortable. I mean, I think right now it's kind of I think it's a good thing to play like Virginia and stuff and just kind of work my way into the SEC teams. I think it's more of like I'm just want to feel out how the opponents are going to play now. But in the offense as a general, I think I've gotten way more comfortable, and that's like a testament to like David Weeks, our assistant tight ends coach. He put in so much time with me in the spring and the summer where I was getting in the formations and working the tempo just to know my like alignment and assignment. So it's kind of coming a lot more natural now that I've been in it longer.
All right, your nickname's Callie, and that kind of works twofold because your name's McCallan, and then you're also from California. So, is that something you've always been called? I mean, or did you get that here?
No, my mom's called me that since I was 3. So I was born in South Lake Tahoe when we moved to Colorado, and people have always had trouble saying my full name. So my mom kind of started calling me Callie, and I've kind of picked it up in grade school, and it's just kind of been like that since because it's just easier in a sports setting. Instead of having saying McCallan, you can just go Callie real quick.
Now, one of your old coaches at UC Davis was Paul Shelton, who is the head coach at Southville High School here in Knoxville. He was at Bearden as the OC, went to UC Davis, coached college ball for a couple of years, and then came back as the head coach at South Doyle. When Tennessee was becoming a realistic option for you, did you pick up the phone and call him and go, tell me about it?
So he's told me about Knoxville before. Like we've always talked about the games and stuff when I was at Davis, and he was there too. And then originally when I was talking to him when I was in the transfer portal, he had been talking to our other old tight ends coach from Davis who's at University of Washington and saying, hey, they might be interested in you. And I got offered by Tennessee, and I didn't tell him because I didn't want him to like feel like the pressure to kind of try to get me to go here. And then when I only told him after I committed, and he was super excited. But everybody thinks that he had some kind of hand in it, but he told me about it, so I've known about Knoxville. But he was totally in the dark when I committed. So.
What do you like about that tight ends room? I mean, there's some older guys. Abe's really not that much, older than you guys. I mean, like I'm pretty sure Jacob is about the same age. And then you've got a couple of young guys in there too. What is it you like about that particular room?
I think it's just we all mesh together well. Like we're all we're all really good friends. We all do stuff outside of football together, whether we're playing board games or going to the movies. So it's we already have that friendship and so that trust where it's that everybody's going to do their job, and if somebody's coaching up on something, then you probably should fix it. And that's where I think the young guys kind of get into it, where it's Manuel and Ethan are like, if you say something to them, they're super responsive to it because they know that me and Jacob have been like in football for however many years now. So it's like they know that we have a little bit of wisdom, and they're just super eager to learn.
You were so excited that day when you committed. I remember, I got on the Zoom with you, and you were pumped, man. Like, when you get the opportunity to go from a UC Davis, and you started your career at the P5 level, and then had to go to UC Davis, but when you're able to get back to the Power 5 level and do it in the SEC, like, what was that excitement like level down deep? Because you're coming to a place you really don't know yet. Yeah. You committed sight unseen. You had not been here when you picked here. And now, hey, listen, that worked out well for Cedric Tillman. He signed with this school and never had seen the place. So obviously he had a lot of success. But kind of take me through the excitement level there.
I was grateful. Like when I entered the transfer portal, I was like, maybe I'll get some Pac-12 offers again. And then when I got offered by Tennessee, I kind of was like, oh, this is like real deal. Like these guys think I can play football. And so I was just super excited. And Coach Halsey calls me and he's like, oh, I'm coming out. Like, we're going to talk about the offense and stuff. And when he got there, I'd already talked to my parents and stuff. And I'd been like, I think I'm just going to go to Tennessee. Like, we watched all the film, and I was like, I think this is just the right move for me, the offense that I want to be in. And so he came out there, and I was like, I'm going to just cut to the chase. Like, you don't have to recruit me. Like, I'm already going to sign. Like, I didn't want to do like all the visits and stuff. I'd already kind of gone through that process a couple times. So I just wanted to go somewhere where I wanted to play in the offense, and it seemed like this was the best opportunity for me.
At that point, is that when you got just get on the computer or phone and start Googling, like, tell me, like, what's it, in Knoxville, what's in Tennessee?
Like, I kind of just looked up the campus, and I was like, well, that's really cool. It's huge compared to UC Davis, where you can bike everywhere. And then I just was, we started watching football highlights, and you look at the entrance into Neyland and stuff running through the tee, and you go, who wouldn't want to do that? That's like one of the craziest things in college football.
Yeah, you get to the first game, and you look around, and there's, 65,000 Tennessee fans in a 68,000 seat stadium. What's going through your mind? Did you kind of just look around and go, this is different?
I was, that's most people I've ever played in front of. So I was trying not to throw up most of the day. I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. But after the first drive, I kind of was like, kind of breathed into it. But it's still crazy. And especially, like, we were talking about the heat earlier and how hot it was. And just the fact that everybody still stayed through the game just to see it to the end just shows how much the fans love it here. And it's a completely different experience to, like, the West Coast kind of football fans.
Yeah, we've had a few of those California guys out here on Vol Club Confidential, Brew McCoy and a few others. What do you miss most about California?
California, probably sushi, just because it's a little bit fresher than here since it's inland.
Sure, I get it.
But I love it here. Everything's a lot more affordable.
Kind of like Colorado.
And it's super green, and I just think it's great. And everybody out here is significantly nicer for some reason, I think.
So when you got here, what were some of the things you loved most about Knoxville that you kind of learned early on?
Well, I've never been to Publix before I got here, and the pub sub is probably one of the greatest sandwiches I've ever had. I love it. I think I ate there 5 days in a row one week when I first got here because it's just so good. The chicken tender sandwich, that's my favorite thing.
And it doesn't get old, huh?
No, not at all. Even my girlfriend loves it. My mom and dad have tried it too, so they're like, oh, we see why you gained all that weight so fast.
What have they grown to like about Knoxville?
I think my parents just love it because it's they actually moved out here, so they're renting down South Knoxville, just south of the river, and they're literally like every neighbor that they have comes up and has greeted them, and then they talk about football, and they all love it. And it's just, I think it's like the community around it is insane. Like the fan base here is unmatched.
You're the baby in the family?
I am the baby. One older brother.
Where's he at now?
He's in Utah. He works I think TSA agent now. He just got a new job. So he played a little bit of NAIA football and decided it wasn't for him. So now he's just doing his thing out there.
Yeah, much tougher than McAllen, a TSA agent.
Yeah.
Don't encounter him at the Utah airport. Your parents to come in town, and you see that from time to time where, parents, especially if they're far away and, they can get here and feasibly do it for such a short run.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here for just a matter of months. So are you just kind of soaking all this up, like every little bit of it?
Oh, I love it. I don't think I've stopped smiling since I've been here. Like, I think it's awesome. It's like the pinnacle of college football for me. I've been to 2 different schools, and this is the best experience. This is the most welcome I felt at any school right away. I mean, literally, I was there for the Orange Bowl prep week. I wasn't even practicing because I was hurt, but I still was hanging out with the guys, and it was just so much fun. I loved it.
What's that culture like? Everybody talks about it, but they talk about culture at every school.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel like it's a little more real here. Not to say it's not real at other places, because it is, but it just feels like there's a tight-knit bond. I mean, for you to say you were here for a week and you felt connected to a group that had played, 11 or 12 games together at that point, kind of take me through why you think the culture is the way it is.
I think it's the way it is because Coach Hype obviously instills it, and he embodies it with how he always says hello to my mom, my girlfriend, my dad every time he sees them, remembers their names, and I think it's just everybody wants to be friends with each other, and then it's like when you're on the field, full on competition, offense versus defense, all training camp. But then once you get in the locker room, everybody's just friends with each other, and I think that's just, it shows like the whole coaching staff, everybody cares about everybody, and you want to see full success for the entire program. It's not, nobody ever is like, it's all about me. It's all about the team, and everybody just wants to win.
All right, so you got Keenan. We've had him on Vol Club Confidential. He is married, so he's hanging out with his wife in his free time. Not that he doesn't hang out with teammates, but because he does, but still hang out with the wife a lot. You've got the girlfriend. Is this where you spend most of your downtime, or are there teammates where you're like, so and so and I are really tight? We spend a lot of time together.
Me and Jacob hang out. Me, Jacob, and Hunter Sam, and we hang out.
This is a tight end thing.
Yeah, we hang out a lot together. I mean, I also hang out with like Michael Bittner and Parker Ball. So it's sometimes my girlfriend goes, "Are you gonna hang out with me?" Because sometimes I spend more time with them than I do with her. But it's just fun to hang out with those guys, and that just shows you.
Don't make the girlfriend mad.
It's true.
Do not make the girlfriend mad. Where's the best date night here in Knoxville for you?
She likes Calhoun's on the River to sit on the deck because she likes to be outside.
She likes to sit outside. That's a big thing, sitting outside, being part of the atmosphere. I understand that. What I guess, when you look at this team in this season, what do you like about this year's group?
I think you have a lot of guys with experience returning that want to win and want to step up, take that next step from what they did last year. And then you have a lot of unproven guys, like young guys like Aaron Carter, that show up and want to make a statement right away. And like also Joe he's slightly unproven. Like he's only had a few sample size, and that dude wants to show everybody that he's the real deal. And I think that's just, it's caused everybody to try to one up each other and like just keep pushing to get better, and you just hold it to a completely higher standard.
Can you tell, like I've said for the last couple of months, I said at SEC Media Days, everybody kept coming up to Joe and asking him how far he can throw a wrench and how far he can throw an orange and all this stuff. And I think he's nice about it, but I think he's like, guys, just because I can throw it 95 yards doesn't mean that's all I want to do. Yeah. You look back at the Virginia game, and I thought some of his most impressive plays were plays that he hadn't really shown he could make, which were, the 12-yard hitch route and, the checking it out of the backfield on the 4th and 5 for the touchdown. Like, those were throws that, a year ago he impels the guy because he throws it so hard. It's like Rookie of the Year where the kid throws, And it feels like he's improved a ton. Can you sense that where he's kind of like, I'm tired of being known as the guy that can throw it 1,000,000 yards?
I think he's definitely, because obviously he's like improved as a leader, but he's also, you can tell he's put a lot of work into himself this offseason, footwork wise, and just, I think he's gotten significantly faster, because I started off having to run with him in the mat drills in the winter, and we're getting close, and then towards the end of it, I'm not even near him. But and I think the touch balls have definitely gotten a lot better, because you get here and I was like, oh my goodness, I think my hands are gonna fall off if I catch a ball from this guy. And now it's like, even on the little screen to me, he touched up perfect place. I didn't even have to move, catch and run. So he's got.
So you could tell a difference in the velocity from when you got here to now on passes like that.
Yeah. He touches it up a lot better. I think he's gotten a lot better feel for like how much he needs to put on it, depending on how close the defense is, the wide receiver, and all that.
Do you guys as pass catchers, whether it be the tight ends or receivers, do you all talk to him about that? About like that you've gotten so much better in that area? Do you ever? Does anyone ever say like, "Man, you've really worked on that, and it's really so much better"? I
just thank him for not breaking any of my fingers. So, but I think you can tell. Like, it's just everybody. Early on in the summer when we're doing routes on air, you catch a couple and you're like, oh, smoked off the hands. Then I think he just had realized, oh my goodness, like I can touch it up a little bit more and these guys will be all right, and showed a little bit of mercy on my fingers, so it's all good.
So when you hang out with Jacob, what's that like? Because, he's been here really his whole life because he's a Knoxville native, and here you're coming in for just this quick run through town. Not to say that, you won't spend the rest of your life here, after football's over, because you've enjoyed it so much.
I refer to Jacob as the mayor of Knoxville, because every time we go somewhere, he knows at least 50 people there. They're like, oh my goodness, Jacob, and he goes, oh, I knew that guy from 7th grade Pee Wee football, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But it's nice because it's kind of like, I'm not a super outgoing person, so he kind of forced me to go do stuff with him that I wouldn't normally do. And so I've experienced a lot more out here than I probably would have if I was just doing it by myself, kind of deal. So it's super nice to have him as a good friend of mine, and he's like showed me a lot of different experiences out here.
He's not an outgoing person, but yet he's grinning from ear to ear and has done so, as you said, since you arrived. But since we started this interview, you just keep grinning. You just seem like you're just at a good spot in life.
Yeah, I mean, this place, it's hard to find any negatives. Like, it's just so much fun. Football's competitive, and every day I wake up and I'm looking forward to going to practice and getting better. So I think that's just another show of like the culture that we have here is like it's a fun environment that you want to be in.
If there was a spot on campus where you could just go and just get 5 minutes apiece, where is it?
5 minutes apiece. Oh, middle of the day, probably the team meeting room in the athletic center, just because nobody's in there and it's nice and cold. I don't go around campus too often just because all my classes are online because I'm in the grad program. But I heard the hill is cool, but it looks like a lot of walking, and I get pretty sweaty with how hot it is out here. So I might have to go there on like in the winter maybe.
You'll be gone by the time we get to winter. I was gonna say you didn't do a lot of walking around campus because you don't want to make the girlfriend mad. You're already making her mad hanging out with Hunter Salmon and those guys.
Yeah. I'm no girls around me. No.
How long have we been dating this girl?
We've been dating over 2 years.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we met at Davis. She played soccer at Davis. She just graduated this last year, right after in the spring. So she's actually got a job out here. She's medical scribe. So it's cool. She's a little bit busy, so she doesn't mind when I'm gone at football all day.
Jacob's been dating a girl for a while, so every time I see him, like, you bought the ring yet? And he just grins. He's like, not yet, not yet. You know, those are always my most fun. Like when you know a guy's got a girl, like Chase Stillander on the baseball team. He come through with his girlfriend last summer or last fall, and I said, "Man, Dolander, every time you walk through here, you got a different girl." And I was just playing, and he goes, "Tell her you're joking. Tell her you're joking. Tell her you're joking." And I'm like, "I'm joking." Yeah. It was her face was classic though. What's your goal? I mean, obviously NFL, yes, but like if football didn't work out, what are you wanting to do?
I mean, that's like it's a hard question because like right now it's all in on football, but I mean, I think I would still stay in the space around football because I love the training aspect. I don't know if I would go into coaching because I've seen how much time commitment. I'm definitely more like one of those guys where it's like if I'm not the one working out, then I don't know if I want to put that much effort into it. But I definitely would like to be around like the strength and conditioning aspect of it. I love working out. I love those guys in that room, and so like anything around that.
Where do you feel like your game has the biggest chance to grow? Like is there, when you look at it like from 1,000 feet above, can you look at it and realistically go, okay, I'm really good in this area. I need work in this area.
Yeah, I think it's just sustaining those blocks because it's like I played an offense where it's RPO quick hitter where it's you only got to be where now it's like I got to insert and then I got to stay on that linebacker for 3 seconds. So just sustaining blocks and just I think I got to play a lot lower because I was in the FCS and I was a lot bigger than a lot of the guys that I was going against, and now I'm playing against some pretty big dudes that are pretty developed. So I think just like getting in like more prepared to take impacts and stuff.
All right, let's hit some quick hitters here. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Who and why? If you could be one.
I think Spider-Man just because he's a little bit more lighthearted, and I think that's more my pace, friendly neighborhood instead of I think Arkham City is a little dangerous for me. And Superman, I don't know if I would want my weakness to be a green rock. That's just a little.
He's thought about this way too much. Everybody says Spider-Man. It's wild. I mean, like it's wild how many people say Spider-Man when I ask that question. Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, I'm Jordan. I'm like an old school guy.
Yes, thank God. We finally reached our. I think if we had Jacob out here, he would probably say Jordan too. Have y'all had this discussion?
I think so. It's because it's always the young guys are like, oh, LeBron.
LeBron.
I'm like, I just the defense was different back in the day. That's all I gotta say, man.
Did you grow up being a fan of any particular team in the NBA?
So growing up, we were like Nuggets fans because we lived in Colorado. And that was right towards kind of like the end of like Carmelo and Chauncey Billups.
So you're living the life right now.
So
NBA
watched
champs.
them win, and then we moved back, so we support the Kings, and nice to see them in the playoffs too.
They had a nice run this past year. It's good to see them back. Yeah, I like when it's a little cyclical. I mean, everybody has ups and downs, and everybody hated the Patriots for all those years with Brady, and they've kind of taken a turn. And years from now, they'll come back up, and people will be like, "Oh, I'm glad to see them back."
Yeah.
Not everybody, but some. Favorite MLB team?
MLB, the Royals. Everything else, Kansas City. My dad's from Overland Park, Kansas City, so we were forced to be Chiefs and Royals fans growing up.
Well, again, Chiefs, you're rolling it right now. You got the Super Bowl champs, the NBA champs.
I
You're not
know.
going to have the MLB champs because the Royals are bad.
They won't pay nobody. They get good for a year every like 6 years, and then they don't pay anybody, and everybody takes the players.
Disneyland, Disney World.
I've never been to Disney World, so I have to pick Disneyland just because I've actually been there. But I heard Disney World's pretty cool.
Favorite part about Disneyland?
Disneyland, Space Mountain, because I'm terrified of roller coasters, but it's the Space Mountain's in the dark, I can do it because I can't see how high up I am.
This guy. Are you? So you're terrified of roller coasters? What else? What else is a fear of yours?
Don't like heights. I've gotten better about flying. I don't like turbulence on planes, though. That's all. You'll see me go grab onto stuff and act like I can actually stop the plane from shaking. I'm not a big reptile guy either. My girlfriend's family, they have a snake, and they forced me to hold it, and it might have been one of the worst experiences of my life. It's just too scaly, and they creep me out.
See, for me, it's insects, man. I'd rather be in a room with a live tiger than be in a room with a bunch of like creepy crawlies.
Yeah.
Like that does nothing for me. Favorite meal on a cheat day for a workout warrior like you?
Oh, favorite meal? I mean,
Is it something that a family member makes? Is it your mom, your grandma? Is it
it's my dad does Kansas City style ribs for special occasions, and he'll do that with like jalapeno poppers, homemade, and that's probably my favorite meal. It's good stuff.
Is that something you asked for? So if you're telling me right now, if he called and said, "Hey, I'll do something for you for the home game this weekend,"
Yeah, because it's a 3-day whole thing that he
Oh.
plans out, and he's got so you got to give him like pretty good time in advance because he'll make probably 500 jalapeno poppers by hand and stuff for him because they go that quick.
Flip it back to Paul Shetton. Will you try to go watch the South Dole game this year?
I did. I already went.
Oh, you already went?
And watched them play week 2. I forgot who they played, but they
Played Heritage.
They ended up
Could have won that
losing.
game.
They're playing good. I mean, I think he's definitely brought a lot of good culture to that program, and I think it's just developing guys as they come through and stuff. But I've seen they won this week, and I think it's just they needed to clean up some stuff. But they got good bones over there. They got good guys.
If you were planning the family vacation, where would you go?
Ooh, family vacation. Oh man, I think I like going to Denver, like Colorado, like just like in the summer too, because it's good weather and you can go to like a Rockies game and
Yeah.
just hang out downtown. Denver's pretty sweet.
You like going into like Rocky Mountain National Park?
Yeah, that's good stuff. Like Estes Park up in
Estes Park, yeah, it's
where
great.
you can see elk and stuff on the street. That's pretty cool. I like that.
You ever done Yellowstone?
I have not done Yellowstone, which is surprising.
Well, I mean, it's similar. I mean, you have buffalo and stuff up
Yeah.
there, but yeah, I mean, Estes Park is neat. Elk just walking around, and you get all kinds of other different wildlife
That's
up in Rocky
like
Mountain.
similar to the home, like South Lake Tahoe. You just see bears in your backyard. They'll hop on the fence. We have a bird feeder up on our second deck back there, so they used to just come up and ravage it and stuff.
Best part about Lake Tahoe
Best part about Lake Tahoe
is just the lake.
definitely the summer of the lake, going out on a boat in the lake when it's like 80 degrees and it's just perfect.
What's a day like out there? Like, I mean, like, is this like you're getting up at 6 or 7? Or are you more of a get out there around noon? Like,
I'm get up early, get all your stuff ready. If it's summer, like you got to get up early and go and get all your stuff and then get on the boat by like 9-10ish, just so you can, especially if you're gonna like wake surf or something, just because once everybody gets out there it gets kind of choppy, but if you get out early enough it's like glass out there. It's nice.
big ski guy.
I'm not a big ski guy. No winter sports for me. Too much impact. Seen too many. Because we had an alpine ski team and stuff at my high school. I've seen too many guys that I played football with just collarbones and stuff out. Dunzo.
How different do you look now from when you were in high school?
Oh, significantly different. I finally could grow.
Have you ever run into a girl or a boy that you went to high school with, and they're like, McAllen?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think they've all kept up with me, so they kind of know what I look like. But they go, "Oh my goodness, you're huge." Because I was on all my stuff. I said I was 225 in high school, but I was probably 210, and at like 6'4", 210, so skinny. And I think I hit puberty a little bit late in college because I could finally grow facial hair by the time I was a junior, but pretty clean face for the rest of it. Yeah.
And now that's what you keep all the time?
It changes up from season to season. It feels like Jacob got me to do the mustache in the spring, and that got a little gross, and my girlfriend was not a fan of that one. She likes it if I got a little bit of scruff, but she can't do the full beard, so she kind of predicts, like she's kind of the one that picks would have gone.
I was like Brew. I said, man, what's up with this clean shaven? He goes, I do that just begin every year, and then it gradually grows back. Jacob does have the mustache game going strong right now.
Yeah, but it's like Jacob shaves, and by 5 o'clock he's got his beard back damn near. So it's crazy.
He's got the Clark Kent glasses on too.
That's his. He's got the look, man. That's facial hair is his look, man. I kind of look a little creepy with it, I think sometimes, but.
Have you kind of thought about what it'll be like, get your first touchdown, kneeling, that type of thing?
Oh, I'm excited. Jacob's trying to get me to do the stanky leg too, like his touchdown celebration. I was like, I think I'm a little bit more vanilla, but we'll see if I'm feeling it in the moment. It might break something out.
Are you a talker out there?
No, I don't say anything during the game.
So you're mute.
Yep. No talking. Jacob talks a little bit. That would surprise me because he doesn't say anything during camp and all that. And then we got out there and he put someone on the ground and you could just see him from the sideline going at him.
Who's the most surprising player in terms of that? Like whether it's someone who you thought would be a talker and doesn't talk at all, or someone who you didn't think would talk at all that's a talker that's not named Jacob.
I mean, I didn't hear like John Campbell talks a lot in practice, and then I didn't hear him in the game. But I'm assuming when he drove that guy to the tunnel, he was giving him the business a little bit.
Well, everybody said that last year with Elijah Herring, like he was like this mild-mannered kid, and then all of a sudden he got between the white lines on Saturday, and he was
fired
just
up. He'll start
like,
going.
Yeah, just like a totally different dude.
Yeah, you see that on scrimmage day with him. He'll just if he got you, he'll let you know it and stuff. And it's like he's a good competitor, and you can tell that's why he likes to talk out there.
Biggest thing you've learned from Coach Heupel since you've been here?
Just to let stuff go. I think that was my biggest problem when I first got here with the offense was I wanted to be perfect right away, and like with that kind of tempo, you're not gonna be perfect every play, and so I kind of let stuff linger, and then like he's just like you gotta just let it go and relax. Like he's like the next play is the one that's gonna hit, and I think that's the best thing I've improved since I got here is just letting stuff fall right off the shoulders and just keep playing.
How much have you changed?
Oh, drastically. I'm like notorious. Even my mom will tell you I beat myself up over the littlest things. So I missed a couple blocks in the game against Virginia and just right to the sideline, ready to go. So
all this ends at the end of the year, and then you're off to the NFL draft, and hopefully it begins again with a new football career.
Yes, sir.
If you had a perfect team to draft you, who would it be? I mean, I know you don't really care; you just want to play. But if you got to pick,
well, obviously,
would it be the Broncos?
I don't want
the
to play
Chiefs.
Mile High. The Chiefs would be awesome.
Go learn under Grunt
but
under Kelsey.
Staying in Tennessee playing for the Titans would be awesome.
Same. What'd you think of that turf?
I didn't mind it because I played like all of our FCS games are mostly turf because it's like everybody's can't really maintain a field like that.
Sure.
The best part about it was you could significantly feel like on a day like that, if you're playing on the black rubber turf, you feel like your cleats are going to melt off your feet. That wasn't too bad. Like you could feel a little bit of the heat, but it wasn't nearly as bad. Like it didn't feel like you're on a microwave.
I feel you. It was they put that coconut stuff in there, and it was funny after the game. They turn the sprinklers on, and they're watering, and it's like they're watering a turf field. They have to because the coconut stuff has to have so much coconut husk. I guess has to have so much water so often to maintain something.
I saw that tweet and I was like, I don't never seen turf get watered down like that unless someone throws up on it. But out
of left field, where's Jeremiah Crawford at against Alabama? Did you watch that highlights?
Oh, I've seen that so many times. That's like crazy. Like when I met him, when I was like, I've seen the video of you just throwing up.
You're him.
Even my girlfriend was like, "Oh, that's like," she saw him the other day, and she's like, "That's him. That's the dude." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's how you really get under someone's skin. You throw up and show them what's up."
Is this a place? I know again, we've talked about your time will be short here, but like, is this a place you've been here long enough where you're like, no matter what happens, I will come back here? Like,
I already told my girlfriend. I said I think it's a done deal that I'll be somewhere around this area because I love it out here. I mean, I haven't had a bad day here since I got here. Love it.
No bad days for McAllen Castles. He's hoping there's no bad games going down the stretch of this season. We're just getting started here on Vol Club Confidential. Many, many more episodes, many quality guests to come. McAllen, we appreciate you, my man.
Sir.